Hello and welcome to Bomb Squad, an In Dreams Club PlayStation podcast. I am joined as always by my good friend Chris Lane. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
What's
How are
this
you?
little smirk?
I was just nodding at the camera.
Okay, fine.
It's like you're addressing an audience.
Just because
Very cheeky.
we're actually recording this one.
I know, and
Because
hopefully it'll work.
hopefully it'll work. Last time we recorded, I was throwing lots of glances like that at the camera.
Whoa, that guy just broke the fourth wall.
All just gone into the ether.
Into the ether.
Because
Gone.
someone called you.
Yeah, exactly. How dare they? Now we are also joined by our good friends Tom Flynn.
Hello,
How
thank
are
you very
you?
much. Very well, thank you. Good to be back.
Good, absolutely. And Jeremy Egger.
All right, how we doing?
Very good, thank you. Very good.
Oh,
very
good. Back
How are
stronger,
you?
lads. I don't know,
Back
how's
stronger,
The
oh, yeah.
famous slogan for this podcast.
That's the one. Amazing. I'm very happy to have you back here. Obviously, back on the old pod, and I want to start us off by looking to the future. I love to look to the future. I love to hype things and get excited.
About you.
They do.
Hype Man Mugs.
Who says that?
Just our group chat we have about
Oh,
you. It's
fine.
called Every Time Muggs Does Something Wrong, we
Yeah.
write in the group chat. We're creating like a little sketch show about it.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, I'm looking forward to that one. Let's look forward to the PlayStation 5 because I was fully expecting to be recording this week with us having information about when it's going to come out, the price, what it looks like. But we don't have any of that. Sony have decided to put their middle finger up at all and say, no, we're not releasing anything. So I want to have a little discussion about what we want from it, what we expect. And let's start that off with discussing when we think it will come out. Okay. You may remember previously PS4 was announced in a February event and then it came out in November. I'm pretty sure it was quite near the beginning of November, like the 8th or 11th or something like that. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but around about that time.
We will.
Thank you. So what do we think? What do we think is going to be happening this year? Because all we've been told is holiday 2020 so far.
I can imagine it would be sort of marketing suicide if it doesn't come out before Christmas. If they're getting there's no way it's not coming out before Christmas because it just, you're getting on the hype train. Mm-hmm. Everyone's looking to spend money. No one has any money in January, February time anyway. No. Famously, two absolute desolate months for my bank account. So if I was to buy it, I'd buy it pre-Christmas. Do it as do what I do every time I get a new games console. Buy it for my younger brother. Say that it's for him. Actually take it into my room, so I get the brownie points from the family because I bought him a PS4 or whatever. But then I get the PS4. So it's a win-win situation.
I thought for a second you were just going to be a really nice guy, like, I'll buy myself one and I'll buy my brother one. It was a no. This is a long con. Yeah.
I'm not made of money. Come on.
No, of course. Chris, do you have a...
Well, yeah, I was looking up. Black Friday is the 27th, so a lot of people are going to be out shop. Obviously, it's not going to be like on a deal or anything. But
No.
People are going to be out in stores buying stuff. So, like, that's latest it can come out.
Yeah.
Is around then. So I'm guessing like a couple of weeks before, probably.
Yeah.
So probably early, mid-November latest.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what day they normally come out. If there's a specific day.
I would have imagined. Good point. Let's just make up. It's definitely a Friday. Guaranteed, it's coming out on a Friday.
6th of November.
6th of November.
Huge prediction.
Yeah.
Are you? What's annoying about like the it being delayed and stuff? Is there like games that are waiting on it to be released to then be released alongside those kind of graphics? Like,
it's just,
what's the problem with it being delayed?
Well, so there's no delay in terms of the actual release. That won't be delayed, definitely not. But in terms of like the announcement,
you say that though, but apparently a lot of the parts and stuff, because they're coming from China, places like that, the actual like coronavirus is actually halting production and stuff. Yeah.
Fuck. So video games can actually kill people now.
Yes.
So the newspapers are finally right.
They won't push it past whatever the original. There would just be shortages. They'll still keep to a date there, I'm sure. But I think the delay of not having this information is just like one of the big things that they said is there's going to be backwards compatibility with your old games. And now, like we were kind of saying in our last episode, that we've got Cyberpunk 2077 coming out kind of mid-September. And I'm like, if it's the 1st of November that it comes out or the end of October, I'm like, do I just wait?
Yeah.
But then we don't know whether that backwards compatibility is just going to let you play on the PlayStation 4 and then immediately take your save to the PS5 and it up-reses it or something. So we just kind of want those things, those bits of information, and also kind of what we're looking forward to past September, because we don't have really anything like officially in the dates for games. There's loads of like.
Does Godfall have a date or not?
It was. I think it's a launch exclusive.
Cool, so.
So it'll be at the launch. So yeah, I think there's not.
Do you think games waiting for the next gens to say their date to then say theirs?
Well, I've got an insider contact.
Oh, we love an insider scoop.
So used to work for Sony.
Okay.
And then worked for Bethesda.
Nice.
So listen, I'm not going to give anything away. I'm not going to tell who my whistleblower
he or
is.
she, or who knows who it was.
They, no pronouns here. Come on, guys.
Mask Tom's voice for this.
Yeah,
game,
exactly.
So
Just blur out my face in this. So I was told that all of, well, I mean, honestly, it's just if you could get it with an educated guess that a lot of Bethesda games are now being delayed purely so they can come out on the new consoles.
Only on the PS5.
Yeah, well, not only on the PS5,
but
next for that.
generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a scoop maybe 2 years ago when I found out about it. Like now, it's just a logical guess, to be honest.
Yeah. No, for sure. I could see that.
All the Ubisoft. So what was it like? Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed,
Gods and Monsters. Yeah,
they were all delayed, so they're going to launch first on the new consoles for sure. So
yeah.
Well, I think compared to exactly what you guys were saying, that do I wait for the new console to come out? All these games are probably thinking, no, we should just release the PS5 version rather than the PS4 because we may have a drop in sales and we may lose share because some people are just waiting for the new console. So most of these games are probably waiting for that news to then say we'll release it on both consoles.
Yeah.
And you imagine the PS4, Xbox One prices would probably be less for these games new as well.
Well, yeah, that's another thing is are we going to be set for another price increase of games?
Oh, God.
Or is it a drop for older
drop for
games?
PS4 and that would be very consumer friendly, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm doubtful on that one.
You can't sell it at the same price because one version is going to be inherently better.
Yeah.
So you can't sell a PS5 version of the new Assassin's Creed at the same price as you would for the PS4 and Xbox One when one will run.
I mean, yeah, but when you're coming from a PC gamer's point of view, we're buying Steam games for 20 quid. And you guys are
keep this chat out of
60
here.
quid for a game, and we're in triple the graphics settings.
So okay. Well, so I reckon we all seem pretty agreed on kind of November time.
Yeah, it must be.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Let's talk pricing, okay? Because this is going to be a contentious point right up until the moment they say it, and even after, I still think it's going to be debated. I feel so the PlayStation 4 came out at $399, which I think was £370.
I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it's £370. Okay, and that's for 500 gigabyte version.
It's never really gone down from that, has it? I mean, it's like, was it 200 now for one?
Yeah, they've held the non-pro version. They've held that price now at like the kind of 200, 250 for quite a while. I've got a wild kind of guess that you're going to have a PS5, which will be, my guess is £499. Okay, I'm going negative on this. Okay, $499 and a PS4 at like 200 quid or something, or 170 or something like that.
You say that's negative, but when you look at like a price of an iPhone, which is going to have less processing power than these next gen consoles that are like £1,200, that seems not that bad to me.
True.
What is that? So what you're saying dollar wise? You're saying what, 500 or same?
I'm saying price parity dollars to pounds. Yeah, so $499 on both.
Well, they all got leaked in it that all the parts together cost like $450.
Yeah.
Was that was in the last couple of weeks that that's come out. So
it won't be. They won't be selling for that much. Yeah, they'll be selling for like double.
They can make losses though, and they have.
They have in the past.
Really?
I think PS3 they took a hit.
Massive.
Really?
I think
what's the gain?
Because of the sales, game sales. So digital sales, on some games they take up to 60% Sony get from the game if it's a digital sale. So that's why my negative is $499. My positive is they keep it at $399 because they just say, right, we're in a better position. More people are going to be downloading games digitally, so we get a bigger cut of games. So we can absorb this $50 hit or how?
I think it's in the middle. I think
you're going straight down the middle.
Like £450 pounds.
I would say like 700.
Yeah,
I think
£700.
I think businesses are stupid. They don't take like a profit or something off these games, off these consoles.
Okay.
And question on like digital games: how does the backwards compatibility work? Because
this is what we're waiting
for. If you
for.
put in a disc in, then obviously that makes sense to be backwards compatible. But then can you download your PS4 games, which you guys are all digital?
Yeah.
Aren't you?
Yeah. I think what people would expect is, yes, you load up your PS5 and every single game you've got in your digital library you can just download.
You would hope.
Now,
I think the PS4 ones will work that way. I
Yeah.
think anything older,
I mean, it'd be so cheeky by them if it's not, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Who knows?
They'd be like, it is backwards compatible, but not for digital games.
What I'm kind of wondering is, on that, when you download that, do you automatically unlock the power of the PlayStation 5 with that? Or do you need to have a patch which enables you to take advantage of it? That is the bit that I'm not really sure how it works. And how we've got to kind of wait to see with that, really.
Oh, so say you've already bought it on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
And then you download it to PlayStation 5, it automatically gets the graphics boost.
Exactly. Does it get that? Or
As
does
if-
it just stay as if it's a PS4 because it hasn't been updated for that kind of...
No, they'd keep it at the PS4, wouldn't
Do you think?
they? Yeah, definitely. Well, they want to rebuy it, wouldn't they?
Well, that's... Yeah. Whether I would like... Obviously, the best thing would be you download it, there's a patch that the developers have been working on, they get a patch, and then it's suddenly unlocked to be more powerful. The slightly more cynical one is you download the game and then there's a £5 to £10 like update which turns it into a PS5 version of the game.
But would
the
you
super
be?
cynical
I wouldn't be
is
that
double
bad.
buy.
I wouldn't be adverse to paying £5 for those games that I know I'm going to replay.
For certain games, like if Cyberpunk, that's one game where I'd be like, I can see there's going to be a big benefit in this because of how like next gen this game already is.
Yeah.
But it's whether the game is like 1,000 times better on PS5. Like, what's it going to change? Is there going to be additional content? Does the game change apart from the graphics and the how smoothly it runs?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's one of those big sticking points that we're kind of waiting for. Now, is there a price which would stop you from buying it straight away, or would you even think about buying it straight away?
I'm not looking to buy it straight away. Okay. I'm someone who just it's got to be the game. There's got to be a game coming out where I'm like, I have to play that game, and I know everyone's going to be on it, and I know it's going to be the big deal that's going on.
What is that, like the Elder Scrolls 6 or
something like that? I remember it was for PS4. It was GTA 5. Because I bought a PS3 to play GTA 5, and then everyone moved to PS4, so I was like, I just had this PS3 for 2 months and then sold it, and rebought it on PS4 and stuff, and that was just it. It was just basically because everyone was on it, so then I was buying it.
Yeah,
so
I actually never played GTA 5 on PS4.
Same,
I played the whole thing
really?
on 3.
Not much changed. It was just like they introduced like first person mode.
Yeah.
It was just because everyone was on it, so I had to go where the people were.
Yeah, of course. Tom?
I think if it was anything over £600, I wouldn't buy it straight away. I would probably even wait. Again, as Jeremy said, I'd have to wait for a certain game. I think, Elder Scrolls, that would be definitely one which would make me buy it. The Starlight, what's the
Starlinks, is it?
The Bethesda space game.
I think it's like Starfield.
Starfield, you're right. Yeah.
I haven't heard about that.
They just showed like a splash screen at an event.
I've heard it's supposed to be what you wanted from No Man's Sky before No Man's Sky came out. What was promised with it, but they're actually delivering that with it.
I mean, they're not lying to all of us.
Yeah. Essentially, I'd like Star Trek, the game. You know, where you get, you could go to planets, you'd interact with people, you could have space fights, Star Wars, Star Trek, not fussed on which franchise, but some sort of...
As long as there's interplanetary travel involved. Chris, any price for you that's...
I don't know, like, I think, to be honest, for me, I think anything over like $550, I'd be like... Because I'm not sure they can. Like after, I mean, how much was the PS3 when it came out? Like
$600.
I don't know what that would have
been. So it's $600, which I think it probably like $520.
And Sony was like rinsed for that.
Yeah, they were playing catch up for the whole generation because of that mistake. Really? Yeah, because you've got to remember that console gaming is mum and dads buying it for kids and stuff. It's not the enthusiast market, but from some of the like kind of small little leaky of specs and stuff, the Series X and the PlayStation 5 will obviously be similar, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, who knows. It's targeting that high end settings of PCs and stuff. Like it's really pushing pushing stuff out there. So I know that the rumored kind of power of the PlayStation 5 is the equivalent of like a £350 to £400 graphics card.
What,
So
really?
that's one.
Okay.
That's one component. Obviously, that's the consumer device. You're not
Yeah,
bulk
yeah.
buying and all, and you're custom making it. But that's one device, one part of the thing. So I could see it being more, but I strongly think there's going to be this like sunken cost kind of for them. They're just going to take the hit on it and kind of
Especially, I think the big thing is that at the beginning of the PS4 generation, physical games were bigger than digital.
Yeah.
And now it's actually the other way around. Now digital people aren't buying physical games as much. It's more digital now. So there is more money for them in game sales than there was.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare having physical games. I live with my brother. He never puts the games back in the actual box. So I'm constantly going through my library of games, like going, okay, well, which one is it in? And it's like a lucky dip trying to figure out which one he played and then which disc. And like the FIFA 18 is usually in FIFA 13. That has no place there.
terrible.
And it's one of those where it's like you look, so Amazon, it's like 45 quid. Or if I just go onto if I get on the PSN store, it's like 54. And I'm like, I will probably pay £9 not to have to keep taking a disc in and out. Which is pretty lazy. But then I'm like, it's also just there the whole time.
Yeah,
absolutely. So is there any like anything that you would say you're maybe looking for? Or is there something you want from the PS5 that you're not currently getting? Is there any feature or thing you can think of which would be exciting to you?
I think that... How much did your gaming PC cost to make, your first one?
My first one, it would cost £500.
500 quid, right. So that was fairly decent.
It played everything. Played EVE Online and stuff in high graphics.
Exactly, yeah. So I think it's got to be... The price point has to, be less than I could get for a PC.
Sure.
I think.
Okay.
Equivalent, like if we're talking equivalent graphics, equivalent like running time, it's got to be less than that, and it's got to have. It's got to compete with PC in terms of processing power and graphics.
Yeah.
Because I think, there's the whole PC master race thing. That you. Basically, I want to kick them down a pedestal, the PC master races. So it's like
I think there's a chance that might happen this time.
Yeah.
I think there's a chance. Because the processors in it are actually going to be like current processors. The graphics are going to be the power of them are going to be in line with some of the higher end graphics cards.
Yeah, but maybe for a year, if that, then things will move on, and the PS5 it's not going to be modular. It's going to be like
No. But
so we'll probably in 3 or 4 years we'll probably get the PS5 Pro or something, and
absolutely,
that again then might bring a bit of parity. But that's the thing with the PC gaming; it's just always going to move. It's always going to progress a bit. But
absolutely. But the thing which is interesting, and I've kind of slowly been learning over kind of watching a couple of kind of geeky things, is that even PC games are kind of benchmarked to the consoles, and that's why. So when the PS4 came out, not talking about the graphics in it, but the processor in it was like already old and kind of considered kind of shit. When the PS4 Pro came around 3-4 years ago, 2015, 16?
Can't remember.
16, I think. That had a 2012 processor in it. So it's already well out of date.
Yeah.
The graphics in them are always considered like good. They're fine, kind of, and good stuff. But the processors have always been shocking. So now that it's like a current good thing, I'm like, right, at least we've set a good benchmark to start from and push forward from.
Do you ever think consoles will get to the stage where you can customize
modular?
Them? Yeah. Where you could put a graphics card in or something. Like you have the option. Like, you have the Pro PlayStations, but if you just wanted to change the processing speed or the graphics card. Maybe, especially with hard drives, you'd expect them to do that. So
that was the only thing I was going to say. I don't think you'll get a graphics card or a processor being able to change those because consoles are kind of sold on the basis that you don't do that. That's kind of the whole point.
That they're reliable and stuff. Yeah, you get everything and it's good to go.
There is a slight change of the storage now being on these new SSDs, but they're called NVMe drives. They kind of look like this. They're like a little stick and. There's been a few rumors going around that both consoles, the Xbox Series X especially, you will be able to buy a little cartridge and there'll be a hole in the back and you just put that in and that gives you another, if you want another 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 4, obviously pricing increasing. having that as like, maybe there's a base 1 terabyte built in, then there's a slot for one extra thing, so you can add as much as you're willing to pay for it. I think a storage modular spot, I think, is a great idea, because you can even make your own special money from it, kind of by like, right, you can only buy these cartridges and it's 20% more expensive than just the drive on its own type of thing, which obviously that would happen. But I'd like to see that. I think being able to add extra storage in a really simple fashion.
Yeah, or even if you just have like I don't know, I was looking at it on this, but it's PlayStation 3, where there was just a USB slot that you could just plug in an external hard drive.
You can do that. Yeah. You can do that currently. The only issue running there is that these new consoles are going to be the first ones with SSDs, and basically you wouldn't really be able to use a slower type of storage.
Oh, right, to play the games off, so you'd have to transfer it elsewhere. It would have to
be at least equivalent.
Oh, okay, so you can store them on there, but you then have to transfer
maybe
them back.
transfer them across, something like that.
That'd be interesting, I think, at least.
I think adding some level of being able to change it would be great, but again, part of the reason why they keep the cost down is because you can't.
How much storage do you currently use on your PlayStation 4?
So, I'm pretty terrible at this.
I know.
So
I know.
My PS4, the like anniversary one, has a 2 terabyte hard drive in it, and I am consistently having to delete things to reinstall games, because if I have the space, I will just fill it up. I have a list of games where I'm probably never going to play or never going to get back to, but I like having there just in case someone comes around and like, oh, Spider-Man. Never going to play Spider-Man again. Yeah. But I can load it and be like, look how cool it is to swing around New York, kind of.
Yeah, show off to someone that comes around.
Yeah. I just have everything I could ever want to play or show off there at the same time.
Oh, yeah, and you've done that so many times to us.
Exactly.
So I've got a 1 terabyte, and actually I've got like Death Stranding's on there, I've got Dragon Quest 11 on there, I've got Spider-Man still on there, Red Dead Redemption 2, and I'm not. I haven't had to delete anything yet. I think I have deleted.
You should have more self-control than Andy, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't buy everything on the PSN.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just
standards.
I'm just helping out the developers. I'm keeping these developers afloat by just buying their game. I think there's going to be a 1 terabyte as a standard. I don't think they can do anything less than that.
Yeah,
considering the pros now come with that.
They were saying that the Final Fantasy VII remake is going to be 100 gigabyte download as well.
What?
So, yeah,
that's like. With everything, it's probably a quarter of what the base PS4 could actually.
I think Red Dead 2 is like 110.
Yeah.
So
it's 2 discs to install.
It's 2 discs exactly. If you buy a disc.
What console was it that I don't know if it was my Switch. It might have been my like Nintendo 3DS or something. I downloaded a game on it, and that was it. That was
one game on the whole memory card. Like
I can't remember what it was. I don't think it was the Switch.
Yeah.
But
was it Breath of the Wild or?
No, I've got a feeling it was like one of the like remastered Zelda games on a 3DS.
Okay.
And it took up like the whole thing. or was it the Vita? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although the Vita had it's got memory
cards. But proprietary ones, terrible.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing that I'd quite like with the new PlayStation is the issue I've had my PS4 for about 2-3 years now, maybe 3.5.
Looking at Jamie like, come on, you know what I'm talking about.
We got it in 2015 with the Ultra Wide Festival.
Okay, so like 4 years, 5 years,
and December 2015.
All right,
that's
four and a bit years.
Doesn't matter. What day in December?
It was the 6th of December.
What day of the week?
Actually, it was a Tuesday. It was actually a Tuesday. Yeah, it was a balmy day, if memory serves.
The 6th of December is when a lot of countries in Europe get presents from Father Christmas.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And just thought I'd throw that out there. Yeah, you got the present of the PS4.
But my PS4, I've cleaned it about 4 times now, and it is so loud.
Mate, my PS4 Pro is the same.
Yeah.
It's honestly,
I've been a jet engine.
I've been smashing Red Dead recently, and some would say I'm addicted. My family mainly.
He's addicted.
I'm addicted, and I have to wear noise cancelling headphones when I play it and plug it into the control because all I can hear is. And it's so loud that when I've got wooden floors in my room, when I have it on the floor and I go and I'm above the sitting room, when I go downstairs and the PS4's on, I can hear it in the wall go.
You know that's too much.
I'm just like, this is a joke, and I've cleaned it so many times, and it's still so. I mean, maybe that's a slant on my housekeeping. You know that my room is so dusty, but honestly, it's
loading up the Death Stranding. Whenever there's a cut scene in Death Stranding, it's just like.
It is really pushing it at that point. I was actually the last thing I was going to say about the PlayStation 5 is what would you like it to look like? Because So I want to start this off by a few leaks. Okay.
Ooh,
We love a leak.
Love a leak.
We love a leak. Okay.
Like the Welsh.
Okay. So we've had pictures going
Swing and a
around.
miss.
Didn't get that out at all.
We've had pictures going around of the dev kits of this PS5. Okay. It looks like a kind of a curvy kind of rectangle with a giant V in the top with a ton of vents coming out the side of it. Okay. Now, that everyone was like, no way is it going to look like that. And then everyone made the very wise point of dev kits never look like the real console.
Yeah.
And the PS4 was literally a big square, a rectangular box, and that was it.
Yeah.
So that was all kind of, yeah, whatever. Oh, what would you feel about it if it had that? Who knows? But something's happened recently.
Yeah.
I think a Japanese, I think a French PlayStation store, like website, was up.
Do not like
Isn't it?
that
You'll be
one.
able to see that now.
Oh, I don't like that.
Potentially.
you
That looks
can
like that
see
looks like
that.
that looks like a render based off a rumor. That's not the dev kit, is it?
Oh, no, I think that is pretty like the dev kit, isn't it?
Is it?
Well, it came up when I searched for dev kit.
Okay. Fine. Semantics. Yeah, that's it. Fine, that's it. There is, on these PlayStation Store sites, there was the pictures of the PlayStation 4, the PS4 Pro, and then, which look exactly like the actual consoles, there was a PlayStation 5 one, which looked like a square box with a V along the top of it. So, if there's rumors about a V,
Yeah.
Are we
If
happy?
it's like this picture,
potentially.
that looks like the Sega Mega Drive.
Yeah, it does actually look a bit like it.
It doesn't look good. It looks like a cassette player. It looks so like.
If those lights
Retro.
inside could go red, it would kind of look like something from Star Wars as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An Imperial.
You can turn it on every time.
It looks
Yeah.
like
Go
a sort
on,
of 80s movie trying to... it looks like set design, you know? It's like
Yeah.
saying, right, okay, we're in Blade Runner, right? We want to make some sort of futuristic gaming device. And
Yes.
that's like the first like draft.
There's
Yeah.
What's what the 70s thought the future looked like.
Yeah.
Now, how would you feel then if I said that is the design, okay?
Oh.
That's locked in, but you would never ever hear a single thing out of it. How would that make you feel? Is that enough to make you go, I don't care about it looking ugly?
Yeah.
All I'm looking at is those vents, and I know dust is going in.
Yeah.
The
True,
more
true,
vents,
true,
the more
true.
dust entry points.
True. But let's say that they've unlocked this magical
It ain't
new
happening,
cooling
Mugs.
system.
A Hoover, if you will.
Hoover. Would that be? Would you mind the design if it guaranteed for the lifetime of the console no noise?
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't mind at all. I don't think I ever look at these consoles and think that it matters about what they look like. I'm just looking at all of yours now, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is see-through, so
so I can't actually.
cool.
It's
No,
invisible right now, so I can't actually see it.
Yeah, to be honest, like I really want to see what it looks like,
Yeah.
but
Not that
actually
bothered.
my PS4 at home, it's just it's in my like TV stand, and
Yeah.
don't really look at it.
I
Good,
think I'd
good.
prefer that to kind of, because I saw a few sort of like concept designs. They're like cylinders, which like really tall, and you'd like put a disc in the top, and it just
Ooh.
it kind of remind me of like the sort of waste paper basket iMac.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just think those by your TV, they're just such an eyesore. And I
Yeah.
think the way the PS4 is designed at the moment is so sort of sleek and it fits in.
Yeah.
And so, like looking at your one and the PS3 as well, they just kind of they're
Black
discreet
sleek
almost.
block, a discreet black.
What
Blocks.
do you guys think about the Xbox?
Have you seen it? The Series,
the Series
X,
X.
No.
which is
Oh.
a square.
Have you not seen it?
It's a
I
square
can't
tower.
remember what the Xbox One looks like because I was an
That's
Xbox.
because no one's got it.
Yeah.
It's because no one's bought it.
Looked like a
Sick, man.
VHS machine.
Because I was an Xbox 360 man. I was
Yeah.
Halo custom games. You know,
Yeah.
growing up, I loved that shit.
Get
at high
out.
school.
Get out!
Get
of
out.
this.
The
Don't-
best. I'll fight to the end of the earth. But then once I moved to PS4 for GTA 5, I didn't really.
Here's the. This is the Series X.
That
So
yeah.
it's like a tower, like a little mini PC
Yeah.
tower.
Well, I'm looking at it now, Mugs. I don't know where you'd fit that
Well,
in your
that is
room.
the
Why-
big issue. Now, you can actually supposedly lie it down. However, I'm a bit confused about that because this venting at the top seems very important.
But I tell you what
Yeah.
else would frustrate me is the little Xbox logo at the top. You can't really see, so I'll stop doing that.
Yeah.
That's just like it's that way.
Yeah, if you turn that sideways.
These PlayStations with their have their
the PS3
very
and the PS2, you can turn.
you can turn
Yeah.
so that the PlayStation logo goes whichever way you've got it. That's just
I've
going to
never
be
realised that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah.
That's just going to be some like sideways. Like you're going to be, what console is it? And you got to turn your head like that.
Oh, so horrible.
So,
How would you ever live like that?
So what I got out of that just then was we don't really care what it looks like, but we wouldn't mind if it's a bit discreet and just
yeah.
The smaller the better, I think, in generally.
yeah.
But do you want
Yeah.
it discreet? Do you want to flex on your friends that
Well,
you've got a flashy games console?
I'm kind of up for this V design. I kind of want something that's a bit
I hope
controversial.
it's just the V.
just a cutout of a V.
Yeah. And you
Wild.
insert the disc and it doesn't fully, it like sticks out the back.
So it's spinning around like that. Oh, that would be cool. I'm not sure if that could possibly work, but
No.
potentially.
I mean, I can tell that you like to flex mugs by the fact you've still got a PS2.
Well, to be fair, it's actually not mine. It's actually my housemate Adam's. Both of these are. This is actually an OG PS3, which plays PS2 games.
Oh,
Really?
Very rare.
Wow.
That's very rare.
Do you think PlayStation will ever change their naming conventions, or do you think they'll just be
Well-
6, 7, 8?
Well, no, because they actually bought the trademarks to. They trademarked
Up until 10?
up until 10.
Up
Do
until
they?
10.
So
So
they'll
only
just go
trademarks
7, 8,
till
9,
10.
10.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're going to go full Apple, PlayStation X.
Yeah.
No, they'd never get
They
X.
can't do X
Not
'cause
while
of
not while the
Xbox.
Xbox
Of course,
is
yeah.
But whether we get to 10,
Unless
Who
Sony
knows?
buys Microsoft.
That'll be like
Yeah.
in the 50s, though.
yeah,
won't it?
yeah. Good.
Christ.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we've got some. I think we've built a picture about what we think and want the PS5 to be. I think it's time.
I'm gonna sort of pause this out because
Yeah.
I want to talk
You
about.
assert some dominance on us.
Okay, I'm gonna dominate from now.
Such an alpha.
Yes, God.
Quiet.
Like every
Quiet.
Friday,
Yes,
like
sir.
every Friday night.
I want to talk a bit now. I know we talked a lot about PlayStation. We're a PlayStation podcast, but I want to talk about Pokemon because I've recently finished.
Our
I've recently
wheelhouse.
finished Pokemon Sword, and I know that we've all got quite a good history of playing Pokemon and enjoying Pokemon and to certain extents. But to going into, I actually want to play a game first to get us a bit more relaxed. Get into Pokemon. So this is a game called Pokemon or Drug.
Nice.
Okay.
So I've actually got 40 here, but I'm only going to do 10 because otherwise that'll take a long time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the name of a Pokemon or a drug, and you're going to have to guess what you think it is.
What it
Pokemon or
is.
drug.
Yeah.
And it's basically as simple as that. So I'll start off. The first one that I'm going to name is Voltaren. Voltaren. So have a little discussion. What do you think? Drug, Pokemon, which is it?
I'm going drug.
Yeah, me too. Drug.
I'll be the contrarian and say Pokemon.
I'll say why because there's Voltorb and like ones that are close to it, but I've never heard of a Voltorb.
But we know you're
Do we-
so tricksy.
Yeah,
that-
or maybe it's one of these new pre-evolutions or de-evolutions.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point because there's like, do you remember Electabuzz?
Yeah.
He was just on his own, but he's got a pre-evolution and I think he's got an evolution now. as
He's
well.
got post.
Well,
Yeah.
Pichu as well.
Pichu, but it's Elekid was his. Voltaren.
Not sold on that name, Ella Kid, but
Voltaren is a drug. I should have written down what they were, but I don't.
I was gonna say as well, Voltorb. You can't. It literally is a Pokeball. Like
Yeah.
it's a pretty.
Yeah.
It's a shit Pokeball.
Voltaren's
It's-
actually just a sort of a
it's a
Pokeball shaped capsule.
It's,
Do you remember what
Kill
Voltorb evolves
scurvy.
into? Do you remember?
Voltron.
No.
Oh God.
Ampon.
Is it? It's just a bigger ball. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
and it's got a white top instead of a red
So
top.
Voltorb is red on the top, white on the bottom, and Electrode
Electrode.
is white on the top, red on the bottom. Yeah.
No, Voltron.
They were always the
It should've been
worst
Voltron.
because whenever you found them like in the wild, they would just use self-destruct on you.
Oh, all the time.
Do you
Yeah.
remember? Super
Oh, who
annoying.
wanted to catch him anyway?
Yeah.
Okay, next one. This is Decadron.
I'm gonna
Decadron.
go with Pokemon,
Pokemon or drug?
and I'm gonna say I'll leave it.
I think it's a drug.
Can you give me it one more time?
Decadron. I can spell. I have got them written. So I
He
can
changed the
spell.
pronunciation the second time around.
I'm going Pokemon.
I'm gonna
Pokemon?
even say it's an evolution of Polygon.
Ooh.
Oh, fucking flexing.
Isn't it Porygon?
That's the one. Yeah.
Wait, sorry, Jesse. Did you
I
give
say
us
drug.
It is drug.
Oh,
No! Absolutely played.
Pokemon trivia here. There is an evolution of Porygon.
Yeah.
It's called Porygon 2.
No.
Yeah.
There is a Polygon though, isn't there?
Porygon.
Is it?
No. No, I don't think so.
He's going to do a little aside there.
Okay, right.
You got to cut out even the aside. I was going to say that's how the Japanese pronounce it. Porygon.
No, cut that.
Thanks for
that.
the editing extra bit.
Okay, the third Pokemon or drug is Ursaring.
I'm saying Pokemon.
I'm going to go Pokemon on that
I'm
one.
going to say Pokemon too.
Is this just because it's got
Don't
had
do
two drugs in
drugs.
a
No.
row?
Is that? I feel like that's the little bear Pokemon as well.
Ursa is the name of a.
Ursa's
That's another
bear
way for
related
saying
stuff,
bear,
isn't
isn't
it?
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a Pokemon. It
Yeah,
is the
there you
bear
go, yeah.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it's the
Boy.
little one or if it's the big one though.
Well, you should have done your
But
research.
you got to. Yeah.
One thing to do.
You don't hear Chris Tarrant doing that on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Okay, next one is
Unexpected Chris Tarrant there.
It's the OG.
next one is Geodon.
Pokemon. Definitely. 100%.
No,
I think drug.
I'm going drug.
Yeah.
I
If
think-
it is,
I think
that's the
it's-
worst name for a drug ever.
It's the same situation with a Voltorb. Is that there's Geodude. I don't think there's a Geodon.
It is a drug.
Yeah.
It's a drug. Yeah, sorry.
yes.
So
Mugs,
you
you
got
are
I'm doing. I've only
Jez-
got one.
Jez-
Jez has got 4 out of 4.
Mugs,
so far,
you're
I
a
think.
lightweight in a heavyweight battle right now. Right? You need to up
Mate,
your
I'm-
Pokemon.
I'm a lapsed Pokemon fan.
Okay, next one is Absol.
Oh,
Drug.
Pokemon.
You said that with like.
Yeah,
I
Tom
said
did
it
that with
with
conviction,
because I knew I was wrong.
but I'm going to go. My first instinct was drug.
You said drug, Pokemon.
Drug.
Get to know, lads.
Pokemon.
Okay.
Go on, Tom. What is
Come
it?
on.
So confident.
It's a white cat like
Yeah.
Is it?
Pokemon. I don't know how you describe
Nice.
it.
We're
Cat
sitting next to a
lion.
Pokemon
I
master.
want to know what gen these are as well.
That was.
I couldn't. I could.
Yeah, you
tell
could have done
I
my
could have
research,
told
yeah.
you.
I could. Next one is right. Zigris, and it's spelled like X. Xigris. Zigris.
That's too outlandish to be Pokemon. I think that's a drug.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that's a bit. Zigris.
They go with
Chi-
pretty basic
Chigris.
spelling in Pokemon.
Chig.
Yeah.
Well, I've only ever seen it on a screen, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
When you were googling this drug, I'm saying it's a drug.
Drug?
Yeah.
What are you saying, Tom?
I'm gonna say Pokemon.
Pokemon?
I said drug.
Drug. It is a drug.
Yes.
So that was Jez
Still
and Mugs,
one
got that
clear
right.
of Tom. Yeah.
Back in the game.
How many questions have we got left?
There are 4 more.
Okay, go on, Flynn.
Okay. Next one is Heatran. Heatran.
How did you find all these different drugs as well, by the way?
It's like
How
a
did you work this out?
It's a
it's
pre-existing
pre-made
quiz. that
Fine,
I've just
fine,
stolen.
fine.
I've stolen it from the internet.
Love the address of the
Can I
camera
also
there.
throw out there the number 9 on this is I'm not gonna this isn't gonna be on our one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but because I'm picking randomly.
Okay.
But it's Marowak, and I'm sorry if you don't know that's Pokemon.
Yeah, that is.
That's
the name.
Gen 1.
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah. Number 10 is
Yeah,
Pikachu.
It helps with headaches, doesn't it?
yeah. It whacks your
No, that's
bone marrow.
Marowak crack.
helps-
Damn it, I messed up.
It helps
the
with your
delivery there.
bones.
Wait, what? Heatran.
Heat tran.
Heat. Yes, Heatran.
I don't know it.
I never know what to believe.
Yeah.
My whole
Yeah.
world has been tipped upside down. Every time I think it's Pokemon, it's a drug. Every time I think it's drugs, Pokemon.
I'm just looking down here. Vulpix is in there as well. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
man.
Oh, come on.
Vulpix is one of the most iconic Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Pokemon on this one.
For Heatran.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna regret it, but I'm gonna go Pokemon as well.
I'm going to be the contrarian here. I'm going to go drug.
It is a Pokemon.
Damn it. I knew it would
You
be.
keep going second to just try.
Yeah, I'm just trying to do a different
You gotta
view.
take risks
Yeah,
to get
exactly.
points on me.
Points mean
But
But
prizes,
he's
mate.
bringing away,
Okay,
tearing ahead of the
number
team.
number 8 we're on to now is Numel.
Drug.
Pokemon.
Oh, that's a shit.
Numel. Numel.
Numel. I'm going Pokemon.
Now, what noise, if that was a Pokemon, how do you think it would say? You know, like Wobbuffet was like, Wobbuffet.
It'll be like,
Wobba. Yeah, so I got that.
No.
Wait, what did you say?
I said drug.
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Tom said
I said
Pokemon, but he's thinking
yeah.
of changing.
Whatever
it,
you
'cause
said, I was
Pokemon.
just gonna say drug straight away.
It's Pokemon.
Damn. And how
Come
does he
on,
sound?
I've only got one wrong.
I can't remember. Well, but I think Numel is
Anger.
he's like I think he's kind of like almost camelish. It's like that's where the Mel comes
So
from.
it probably did sound like
And I think he's like sort of a sand fire-ish. I think he evolves into like a. It's got like 2 like volcanoes on its back. I think.
I know the one. Yeah.
Do you know the one?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like a weird camel.
Number 9.
Horse thing.
Yeah. Is Vibrava.
That's got to be a drug.
Defo drug.
Pokemon. Guaranteed Pokemon.
It is a Pokemon.
Nice!
Vibrava.
Vibrava. Right. So I've got to do one more.
Do we know what it looks like?
What? Vibrava?
Yeah.
I think it's like, you know how like, I'm going to sound stupid here. You know like Venomoth?
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit like Venomoth,
Okay.
I think.
I trust you implicitly.
Right, last one. Number 10. Tigersil.
That's a tough one.
Drug.
I'm gonna go Pokemon.
I'm going drug.
It's like Vagisil.
It is a drug.
Is
It
it?
is a drug, so Jez got that wrong. Right.
It's like Vagisil, but for
That's 10, right?
tigers.
That is 10. That is 10. Yeah. So there's some good ones in there. I was quite impressed. So if I do the counting up,
Yeah.
it definitely in third place is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 10
Oh, not that bad.
for mugs. So
Oh,
that's pretty
that's
good.
not
That's
bad.
not
That's
bad.
not bad.
Jeremy, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I got 2 wrong.
7.
3 wrong.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7 out of 10 for Jez, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 10.
Jez has
for
pipped
Tom.
it.
So, Jeremy, well done. Pokemon on Drive.
I'd be the very best.
You were the very best.
Like
That-
no one ever was.
No, yeah. You caught them, and now you need drugs to deal with all the things you've caught.
All my
Now, what does that
Lisa.
mean? Does that mean you're a drug addict or does it mean you're a Pokemon addict?
Yeah.
Bit of both, really.
So what I want to do is talk a little bit about Pokemon, because obviously, like I said, I finished Pokemon Sword, so we can talk a little bit about that. But also, I want to know what like your experiences are with Pokemon. Like, what was your first Pokemon game you played? Because well, I've got an interesting one. It's not interesting at all, but like going through, I've wrote down the years of all the different generations, because Sword and Shield is actually generation 8 of Pokemon games, which is crazy when you think about it. When it started off with Red and Blue.
Does that mean like there's been 8 generations of Pokemon been added as well?
Yeah. Definitely.
Interesting.
So, like, what was your, what were your first?
Yeah.
game? Jez, what was your like first?
My first was Pokemon Red on the Game Boy Color.
Nice.
So controversial.
Why is it? And I remember me and my brother both being given a Game Boy each, and he got blue and I got red.
Oh, that's the dream.
It was the dream, but at the same time was we were both doing our playthrough at the same time, and I was like, "Where the fuck did you get that?" And he's like, he had all these like, he had the snake Pokemon. What was it called?
Ekans.
Charbok. Ekans, and it wasn't in Pokemon Red, and so I was stuck there having to
mate,
do.
you must have had wheezing.
Did you have a
was
like a link
horrendous.
cable?
Yeah, but you don't want to do that. You want to catch them. That doesn't
Yeah,
count.
no, but some you can't catch. Some you have to trade.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But so it was great playing through it at the same time. But there were so many times when my brother was like, "Hey, look at this," and I was just like, "Where'd you find that?" And I was like, "You can't find it in Pokemon Red."
Red didn't have Scyther, did it? I think Blue had Scyther.
I was about to say.
Scyther was the
Scyther
dog.
was
Yeah,
cool.
he was like my favourite one.
Yeah,
I
mine
think
too.
that was one of the ones that pissed because he had swords on his hands.
Yeah,
How
it's
could you not love him?
So cool.
Sleeper.
Did you see his evolution?
Was it?
Awful.
Yeah, Scissor.
Scissor.
You,
Crabman,
Does
isn't
he?
he?
Yeah, it was like
No,
red,
no, he's got
but it
like
was like a
crab
steel
claws.
Pokemon. I think you had to trade it with like a
But
steel.
my original Pokemon was a Bulbasaur.
Nice.
Yeah, it was controversial. Not everyone's first pick or their second pick.
You know, you basically. Do you know what that actually means in the Pokemon meta? It means you played Pokemon on easy mode with that.
Does it?
Well, think about the first 2 gyms,
actually, I've worked out the first like 4 gyms. I think
first 4.
because
That was
because
always your argument.
That was my argument. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's super effective
Easy mode,
against
mate.
water and
And
stone,
rock,
but then it's
yeah.
resistance to electricity as
Yeah.
well at the same time.
Yeah.
So, at the same, then it made me like.
and like Diglett's cave, and you go through that
Oh, yeah.
rock cave like earlier
and
on.
you can get cut through
Mount
it as
Moon.
well. But it did make me address after those gyms, like, wow, I'm a one Pokemon man. Afterwards, when it suddenly the world came crashing down, that my Ivysaur couldn't do everything at that stage, and I had to go and like track back through all these things and
Oh,
find
that's
my
a good
Weedles because I just had all these like level 5 Pokemons with my level 30 Ivysaur.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I was a 2-manner. I had my flight type, my bird Pokemon was always OP. Well, my starter was always your main man. He was your Cristiano Ronaldo of the team, and then you had your backup guy.
Absolutely.
That was my flight type Pokemon, and then the rest you could see as they went down slowly getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
See, I was always a little bit OCD where I had to get everyone to the same level.
Oh, nice.
But the problem, so with like old games like with Red, and then then Gen 2, which was Gold, Silver, and Crystal. They were like my favourite. Yeah. I think Pokemon Crystals are my favourite Pokemon game. Probably up there in my favourite games.
What was Gen 2? What were the Pokemon names? Gold, Silver.
Cyndaquil.
No.
Gold
and Silver.
Gold, Silver, Crystal.
Was Luda? I can't remember the
Lucario?
dragon. Lucario. I think it was that.
Lucario was the kind of like fighting blue dog thing with like a black.
Yeah, who were when there was the dragon Pokemon got released? Like the
it was
legendary.
Ho-Ho and Lugia were the two legendaries, and they also had the legendary dogs, which is Suicune, Entei, and Raikou.
Love the legendary.
What's Lucario then? What was that?
I don't think he was. I'm not sure that he was Gen 2. I think he may have been 3.
I've just realised how out of my depth I am.
Like after Gen 2, I'm not great.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm trying to work out because I remember playing Silver and playing that all the way through, but then I can't remember if I played, was it Crystal and Ruby? That's
because what they used to do for Gen 1, 2, 3, 4, they had basically they had the 2 base games, Red and Blue, and then a few years later they brought out Yellow.
Yeah, my brother bought
that was my one.
Yeah. And then so they brought Gold and Silver out, which had Ho-Ho and Lugia on the front, and then they brought out Crystal, which had the legendary dogs in it. Then Gen 3 was Ruby and Sapphire, and then they brought out Emerald, which was like the one time together. And then Diamond Pearl had Platinum, and they've kind of stopped doing that now. But that's what they did for the first 4 generations. And I think Crystal was. I had Silver first, but then Crystal was like my. Love that game.
I had gold. So I had blue. Same situation. My brother had red.
I had blue actually.
I was blue.
But I had gold for about a week, and then I had my Game Boy. I don't know how old I'd been. Maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6. Left my Game Boy on the seat of my car.
No.
No, God.
Only had it a week.
Oh God.
Hadn't even evolved my starter Pokemon. Car window smashed.
No.
Game Boy taken. Didn't get another Game Boy for about 4 years.
Damn.
Absolute heartbreak hotel.
That is.
And my brother still had his Game Boy, so I was like, I'd kind of watch, but you know when your brothers, he'd just be like, stop looking at what I'm doing.
Because with those old ones as well, like when you were making your team, 6 Pokemon, you knew you had your starter, and you'd probably put maybe 1 or 2 because it was all about the HMs. It was all about like who's going to have strength, who's going to have surf, who's going to fly. So you had to have a bird type.
Yeah.
You had to have a bird type. You had to have your starter. You had to have someone you had to have a water type to surf. And it was like, so that was like 3, maybe even 4 slots in your party that were just like, you have to have these. One thing they've done in Sword is that doesn't exist anymore. So it's like, surf is now just, you get an add-on to your bike that you can go over water. Fly is like a taxi service where you literally go on the map and it's available like almost, I think from right at the beginning. And it's only spaces where you've been, obviously. But you can just go anywhere. I was like, this time I was like, I can literally make my party of whatever I actually want.
Which is,
and how'd you feel?
That's
Did
good.
you?
Yeah, and because I trained up because the starters were like kind of a bit meh for Sword and Shield. So I trained it, evolved it all the way because obviously like Pokedex.
Yeah.
And then just got rid of it. And my party at the end of the game didn't have a starter in it. It was literally exactly what I wanted.
Wow.
And I was that's like the biggest plus that I have for Sword and Shield is that
really?
It took away the fact that I need someone to have surf, I need someone to have cart, I need someone to have strength. It took away that, and I was like, I kind of like that.
Because my first instinct was that I don't like that.
Okay.
Because that made me differentiate, and that made me have certain things. But then I suppose you then just filled the stereotype of a team.
Yeah, you're open then to do what you want.
But so like we said, so like Gold, Silver, Crystal. But after that, so they were the end of the original Game Boy games and Game Boy Color games.
Yeah.
After that, so Ruby and Sapphire came out, and they were like the first Game Boy Advance ones. And I don't know if did any of you play any of these? Because I played them, but I think quite a bit later.
Ruby was the one game that was like I obsessively played Ruby to the point where I had like I think it was like over 200 hours clocked on that bad boy.
I never played them.
Because one of the problems with them was that the Game Boy Advance cartridges had like an internal. All the memory was on that, and they would so often corrupt themselves.
Really?
So there would be times when you would like start a game, start playing, you'd save it, turn off your system, come back, and the game would have just wiped itself.
God,
mate.
heartbreaking.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like, I remember a couple of times I had a white Game Boy Advance, and I loved that console. I think I've still got it. I do actually still have it.
I still have my Game Boy Color.
Yeah, and I absolutely love it. I've got a green Game Boy Color as well, but I think I bought that like since the thing. But those actual original cartridges are so bad, and like they're like not worth buying at all because they just corrupt themselves. And I think was that the only game that was at the end of the Game Boy Pokemons? Because I think Diamond, Pearl, Platinum was that
Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Yeah, so they were brought. I didn't write down the dates for those, but they were brought like after when they came out a while later.
I only had Blue.
All your starters, by the way.
So I played through
Squirtle.
Blue. I played through Blue 3 times with each one.
Yeah.
I did play a Charizard one as well.
I did. Squirtle was my start. Then Charizard.
I mean, I've definitely played one through and picking Bulbasaur. I've definitely picked all of them.
Yeah.
My OG was Squirtle.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm glad none of you were
too.
Charizards.
Pardon?
Glad none of you were Charizards.
I would have normally been.
Yeah, I mean, I respect him. You know, he's a great Pokemon. and
It's
stuff,
the most badass Pokemon.
Yeah.
But it's what everyone picks. You know.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
Squirtle, I think I have a lot more respect.
I was Squirtle, but I think I'm pretty sure in my main team I had Squirtle. Which one? Pidgeot. Which one's the
Pidgey and
Pidgeotto.
Pidgeot? So this is like towards the end. I'm talking.
But that's the problem because everyone had Pidgeot,
Yeah.
Blastoise.
I think I also.
Nidoking, usually, yeah.
I think I had a Gyarados just because I loved him so much. I was like, he's so cool. And for some reason, I think I had like a level like 65 Rattata.
Raticate.
Choice.
Whatever. What's the
Rattata was the little one,
Yeah.
then it was Raticate. Yeah.
Yeah, Raticate. I had like a level 65 Raticate because I was like, I think it's kind of cool. And I don't know why I had it, but I remember having it for ages.
I bet you still had a Butterfree as well, didn't you?
No.
Well, do you guys remember what you picked for Gen 2? That we won't go any further than
So
that.
I didn't play.
You didn't play Gen 2?
Always water type. I was always water
Totodile.
Yeah, Totodile.
I'm trying to remember if I did stay green. I think
I definitely went green. Green. So Chikorita.
was with the one with the leaf on his head.
Yeah.
I think I went
Awesome.
Totodile, but I can't even remember.
But I did
Totodile
have
was
a-
so bloody funny in the anime series as well.
That's mainly it.
And his ultimate, his big evolution was Feraligatr.
It was
Yeah.
Godzilla.
It's cool.
It was
Yeah,
Godzilla.
it's
Of course you
awesome.
wanted that.
But oh man, I love that gen. I like all of them. I like Cyndaquil as well. I think that Gen 1 and Gen 2 starters.
So
I can.
good.
Ever since then,
so
it's just
good.
been like
I can
Yeah.
picture Cyndaquil. It's like a
like fire on its back.
like literal flames kind of coming. Like
yeah.
Sharp flames. Yeah.
Do you
It's
think
quite
what
cool.
animal it looks like? Kind of like a porcupine kind of
Yeah.
situation to it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what it's because I know it went into its ultimate was Typhlosion.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the name of the middle one.
I had
'Cause-
blue,
Oh yeah.
and then I was just going to say the next one I had was white.
Okay, yeah. So
'Cause I was on DS.
So 4 was Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. So that was Gen 4. Sorry. Gen 5 was black and white.
Yeah, I was going to say that the reason I remember the second gen fairly well is I think my friend Mike had it, and I remember watching him play a lot of it and him picking stuff.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know why I bounced out of it so hard.
It's because it is just the same thing.
It is.
Yeah,
is,
maybe it is
yeah.
because of that.
And there was no I mean, obviously, like, the graphics get slightly better, you get new Pokemon, but ultimately, the difference in gameplay was so minimal. And realistically, even with the new ones, hasn't...
The new one, right? We'll get to that in
Yeah.
a sec because the rest of the generation. So 5 was black and white, and actually looking through everything. So 6 was X and Y. Gen 7 was Sun and Moon, and then we're at Gen 8, Sword and Shield. Now.
Let's Go Pikachu not involved in that?
Sorry, well, it doesn't count as a full generation of
Yeah,
game
because it was just
a
them
remake.
remastering the Gen 1.
So that came in between Sun, Moon, and Sword and Shield. It was the first Switch.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But not full generation. And I'm looking through the whole thing, and actually, Sun and Moon, so Gen 7. That's the only time that's the only one that I've actually not played through.
Really?
I have actually played through every single gen.
Played through a whole game?
Like finished.
Really?
Yeah, but
I had
like
no idea.
just through buying a broken DS on eBay,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
like getting the 3DS, just like so I could play these old Zelda games and I play. But really, it's because I wanted to play Pokemon because I flipping love Pokemon so hard. But yeah, I will probably go back and play a Sun and Moon. It's because I I think I sold my 3DS before they came out, so I didn't actually. Have
So
them
I remember all the generations because I watched the anime as a kid, like religiously, but then just didn't continue the game. So I played the first and second gen, but then like watched up to like Gen 5 with the Pokemon, and like recently, like 2 years ago, I went back and watched all of the films as well.
Oh,
I
nice.
watched the other one literally last week. There's a new film on Netflix, and it's essentially just the whole kind of
Is it
Pokemon
Sword
Red
and Shield?
story.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, my issue with the anime series? I know this was a game.
No,
talking
no.
about games, but would Team Rocket just please fuck off for once?
Are they in every episode? Every episode.
It's the same thing. They try and they want to see Ash makes friends with the new Pokemon. Hey, let's capture him. Oh, we're gonna get Pikachu as well. You know, we've already started that mountain. We might as well climb it.
Yeah.
And every fucking episode is a new contraption. Where's their budget coming from? How are they still in a job?
Hot air balloons are getting destroyed every week.
The amount of crashes, at the space, from their flying contraptions. How have they not died from that?
How have they not died from the amount of times they've been electric shocked?
I think they've just
they've got to have some sort of serious nerve damage at least.
But I mean, they've got a talking Pokemon. Why don't they just use that to make money?
Yeah, exactly.
But that's like because with Sword and Shield, I just want to now talk about what is so bad about this. It's because it's literally just like you spend like 5 hours just having your hand held for the whole beginning, and it's just like the first three badges are like the. What's it like, in the beginning of a game when it just the tutorial it's like the first 3 badges in the game.
Really?
The tutorial.
I was just going to say, have either of you played it?
No, but I've watched extensive.
I only
playthroughs.
just realised last night that Sword and Shield were 2 separate games.
Yeah.
I thought it was just because it was released on a console, so I'm like, I don't think that's not what you do on consoles. You just release one game.
Yeah. Well, because there was Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee were the same.
Yeah.
But it's so easy. And like one of the problems with it is that there's the wild area, and there's little areas where you can go in and there's like a big what's it called, like Dynamax or Gigantamax version of Pokemon, and you and a couple other Pokemon fight it, and then you can catch it. And instead of getting experience, you get things like experience candies or rare candies each time you do one. Yeah. And in the wild area, there's maybe like 6 or 7 of these things open. So you literally what I would do is do all of them. And I really enjoyed it, had fun doing it, catching these weird Pokemon. Then go and heal up, come back, everything's reset, go and do them again. And I'd end up with like 5 large experience candies, which would one of them would level up a Pokemon that was even up to like level 40. It would be enough experience to level up that. And you'd get like maybe 30 medium ones, 50 small ones. So you could literally just like, I got to a point where I had, there was this Pokemon that I caught called Dreepy, which was like a weird dragon type, and it was tiny and crap. And I looked up that it evolved at level, I think 40 and 50 or 50 and 60, which is super late. But I was like, oh, okay. So I basically had this Pokemon that was like level 70 by the end when everyone else was like level 55, something like that, just destroying everyone. Like I'd use the rest of the party first and then get to that.
How did you feel about the shared XP throughout the party? Because I think that's the worst feature of the game.
And I think that was in Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu as well. So I kind of knew that was going to come. So like, it just dumbs it. It's so easy. It's so easy.
Because then you can just play one Pokemon.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that people have found. You can just do that. And like, I never lost a battle through the whole game. And that's even with like, there's like fairy type. There's a few different types now of which like I didn't really know. So I didn't really know what do I actually need to do to beat this. Like, there's a whole fairy gym. And I didn't know what fairy was good against. I didn't know what was good against it, and I didn't lose. All
right. Because I was going to say that's kind of what I loved about playing Pokemon through the first time. It was like working out what beat it, and you had to trial and error. But if it's still the same, where you can just like beef your way through and just have a strong enough Pokemon.
Yeah, you totally can.
Yeah.
And the other thing, the storyline is dreadful. It's so bad. Like, you get to a point, because the whole idea is that you're trying to beat the champion, obviously, but like you get to a point where there's a part at the end and it changes, and it's like, oh, you need to go up this tower and defeat this thing to stop these people doing X and Y, whatever. And I was like, oh, cool. You remember like in Pokemon Red and Blue and that, where that you go to like, is it Silph Co? And you have
Oh yeah.
do you remember that? And you go through this whole area where there's like I think it's Team Rocket, and there's like warp pads throughout the whole building. Do you remember that? And it was like a big puzzle working out how do I get to one place, I do that. And then there was like one rest spot in the whole place, and this Team Rocket was scientists in there. And it was like a really good bit. And at the end there was a bit where you could someone would just give you a lap press. Don't know why.
Yeah.
They would just give you a lap press. I always remember that. And then also right before the end you had to fight your rival. It was like you finally get through this whole thing, then you fight him, then you can maybe get a lap press, then you get what you need. There's a big tower at the end, one elevator inside it with 3 doors in front of you. You go up, stop, one door opens, you do a battle. Up, next door opens, another battle, third battle, then one battle on the roof, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I was like, so it just seems so lazy.
Yeah.
And it just kind of depressed me. And then I didn't lose at all. It was no problem. Beat the champion. Then there's like after game stuff, which is all about the 2 legendaries.
Okay.
Which are kind of like big dogs, one with a shield, one with a sword.
Yeah.
And they're actually kind of cool. They're kind of cool.
Apart from he holds a sword in his mouth, which are just like, is that like a direct rip-off from something as well?
What if he just
It's
drops the sword?
From a famous anime.
What if he drops the sword?
Yeah,
Does he
I know.
become a different Pokemon?
Well, he does because he doesn't have the sword unless he's holding an item. There's like a rusty sword you pick up at some point, which is like some legendary thing. And if you give him the item to hold, then he becomes that form where he's got the sword.
Okay.
Somewhere. Otherwise, the sword only appears when he doesn't move, I think. But there's a whole storyline about how you go around catching them. And basically, there's 2 people that just turn up after the game. One, and they both have their hair. Yeah, have you seen them? And one of them's got his hair done looking like a sword. And one's got his hair done looking like a shield. And they just turn up going, we're the people who should catch these Pokemon. Yeah. And they're just a couple of dickheads. Yeah. And that's basically the story. It's like, oh.
I wonder as well, because I think we kind of briefly mentioned it when we were chatting a few days ago, about the expectation of a Pokemon game being on Switch and the Switch being more like a home console, as well as being a portable device. The expectation then when you do that is that you're getting something more along the lines of a Ni no Kuni or a Dragon Quest, but with Pokemon and in that world. And you were saying that, are we going to get that? Like,
because that's the problem. That's all anyone ever wants.
Yeah.
But the problem is that Game Freak, who make the Pokemon games, have never made that.
Absolute turd.
Yeah. They can make good Pokemon games as long as it's that with a bit of polish every time, but they can't make a game like Breath of the Wild, like what we want.
Yeah.
This is what I don't get. Why? I think every Pokemon fan wants a Pokemon game that is like that. You know, they want a massive, expansive open world game, you know, where you have random encounters. I understand I like the wild area, and I like the fact that you can see Pokemon in the distance. You go, oh my god, is that a bloody Voltorb? And then obviously you have like little things which pop up and you go, oh crap, right, I've seen that in the thing. Because I think that's part of Pokemon experience, is like that random lucky dip. Yeah. So I get that.
But again, that was a feature that was in Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu.
Yeah.
So that's not even like
a new thing for this game.
It is really good, and I love that you can see the Pokemon
in
real time kind of thing as they're there.
But they don't pop up far enough away. Like I'd love to see something in the distance go, oh my god, is that what I think it is? Is that like wild Charizard?
Seeing a giant in Skyrim.
Yeah. Or like in Red Dead, like I was playing, you see like a puma from miles away, and you go, is that? And then you like snipe it down and stuff, and that's awesome. And like, whereas they pop up right in front of you, and it's kind of, I don't know.
That's the problem, is that if we are ever going to get a game, it won't be Game Freak that makes it. Yeah, and that's going to be a whole mess if Nintendo try to.
You guys played World of Warcraft, didn't you?
Yeah.
Do you reckon a Pokemon game could ever be like an RPG at that kind of level? Because I was just thinking about like the classic raid classes like tank, DPS, and healer. And you've potentially got that in the starter Pokemon with, you know, Blastoise being the tank, Venusaur being the healer, and Charizard being the DPS.
Would you be playing as a Pokemon?
That's what I was trying to work.
Is that what you were trying to think?
That's what I was trying to work out in my head, is how they would do it, is whether you would still... I would imagine they could easily make it with raids where you could only go in with one Pokemon or something. But
that's kind of like what it is in Sword and Shield when you fight the big things. It's kind of, but it's not. You don't move right. It's just
you don't work with people online. Essentially,
you can.
Can you?
Yeah, and they can bring a Pokemon, and it's like four of you, and you can do it with people online, or you can just do it with it puts 4 random people.
Oh, okay.
I never did it with people because it just takes too long to find them online.
Yeah.
I suppose my only thing it couldn't be as expensive as World of Warcraft because you have like 20 spells per character per class and stuff. Where like then that's 150 Pokemon, 20 spells each, and all these different character animations.
I think I'd be semi-interested.
I would.
For sure.
That would be the kind of thing which is just different enough to make me maybe want to come back and play a Pokemon game. Because I literally, especially from what I've seen of it, like it does nothing to make me want to come back and play it, having not played one since, really since White, but properly since Blue, kind of.
And I think as well, it would, for that game to exist, it would require Nintendo to finally go, we're just going to make some software instead of everything has to be, we're going to make a hardware. And I think it's great that Switch has done so well.
Yeah.
But if Switch had tanked, then it may have been like, okay, cool, we're just going to make some stuff for, like, this can come out on PC, this can do this will be a service that you can, and then we could have potentially got it.
Yeah.
But
did you notice like the terrible animations throughout? Because I was watching some playthroughs and it looks so jarring. Like they don't have a turn animation. Have you seen that, Mugs?
No,
so basically the Pokemon will like walk on the spot and then their model will just rotate 90 degrees. So it would just be like they're moonwalking, turning left, and it looks so jarring. And they're showing like the animations are the same as they were for like Pokemon generations like two years ago.
That was a massive thing on the Pokemon subreddit. It was just like how, just like, I don't know, it just felt amateur about how bad the animations were. Like, so like the main, one of the dogs, the legendary dogs, the title Pokemon of the game.
Yeah.
And then some of it, it was like turning on the spot and like walking. And it was just like, that is your bread and butter, that you've got to make at least that one, and your starter Pokemon have some semi-decent animation.
Yeah, and still some of the Pokemon's like abilities, like it'll be like double kick and the Pokemon will just jump up and down twice. And it would just like their body won't even move, their character model will just go doot, doot, and that'd be double kick.
You can actually tell because a lot of, when it's like that double kick, which is a move that's been around since like Gen 1, when they've made when they've got new moves in, they've got actually that's quite a cool animation for it, whereas the old ones they've just gone whatever, just have them jump up and down.
But that's what annoys me so much about the short Sword and Shield, is the fact that Game Freak were like, oh well, we don't have enough time or resource to make these animations, or we don't have enough time or resource to add these new Pokemon in, or add your favorite Pokemon in. It's like, you're one of the biggest companies in the world. Don't give me that BS that you don't have time or resource. Find the resource, find the time, and I don't know. I was going to buy the Switch for this game. When I first found out that there was going to be an open world Pokemon game, I was like, the 5-year-old in me was absolutely buzzing. And then I saw Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, and I was like, please God, tell me this isn't it. Because that looked awful. Like that, I was never even intrigued about that. Then obviously found out that wasn't the open world game, saw Sword and Shield, and I just was left so just disappointed.
It's not even open world.
Yeah, that's it. It's not. And the wild area is relatively tiny as well.
It feels big in the game when you're playing it, but it's not.
And Pokemon as a franchise, aren't they famous for having the biggest profits in any game they ever sell? Like, they're always going to think, and apparently someone worked out, based on the dev team that Game Freak had, they could have had triple that. They could have had 3 game developers and still made a profit on Sword and Shield to add so much more stuff.
I think it's sold something like 17 or 18 million already.
Has it?
And it's like been out for like a month.
It's
like, or like a month and a bit. Like,
it came out beginning of December, didn't it?
Yeah. So I think I'm listening. I think I'm quoting like old podcasts I've been listening to. Like, I'm pretty sure in its first month and a half, it sold something like 18 million.
Yeah, it's a commercial success, definitely.
Like, unbelievable.
So they're never. That's the most annoying thing. They're not going to learn their lesson.
But and also that was because it came out in a fairly dead spell for the Switch.
Yeah.
So it was like, this was the thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No.
Like, if you had a Switch, you probably got it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Breath of the Mario Odyssey. If you've got a Switch, you've probably got Mario Odyssey.
No, I get you.
But how hard is it just to make Breath of the Wild style game of Pokemon?
Well, because Breath of the Wild shows the capacity that the Switch could go to.
That's the problem when you have a game like
Breath of the Wild was on Wii U.
Yeah.
Was it?
That's the crazy thing. Yeah.
It was like the first game out on the Switch, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Well, it was the first
pretty
big
much,
game that everyone bought for.
Yeah. I think I feel like we're going to be waiting for a while. for the Star game.
Unfortunately,
I'm not holding my breath.
That there'll ever
I'm
be.
not holding my breath.
I don't think it'll ever happen.
No.
Just because Game Freak can't do it.
But what
Yeah.
about the DLC? What do
I
you
don't
think of
really know
that?
anything about it. I've not
The
bought
DLC
it
just
yet.
adds Pokemon.
So the DLC.
Something about an island, isn't it? Or-
Yeah, so
Oh.
I've done, very limited research, so you can forgive me if I'm wrong here, but the DLC, one, they're adding all the Pokemon in, or not all of them, but
More.
a lot more Pokemon, so that's got people fairly happy, although there's a huge argument saying, well, you can tell they're only doing this because they're covering their backs because they were supposed to add them in to start with.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm not that fussed about the National Dexit, as they called it. It doesn't really fuss me that much because I'm just like, well, it's about finding new Pokemon.
Yeah,
in the Pokemon
yeah,
games.
yeah.
Like, I love my classics like Scyther, but what can you do? But they apparently have much, much bigger wild areas, different sort of locations and wild areas.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's true, and that's, that could potentially, I'm hoping that's like a massive success. And
A step forward in what people actually want.
yeah, exactly. Because, if they have that, then
So there's
maybe.
There's two DLCs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Isle of Armor, and then the Crown Tundra.
Yeah.
And all it says on this is a new area, the Isle of Armor, new Pokemon, new clothing items, handy features, items, and more. Now, when it says new Pokemon, I'm assuming like that is a new Pokemon, as in it's not just like, it might be adding
Yeah.
old Pokemon as well, but there are actually new ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if
Which is
new
cool.
clothing is like, what's that, third on the list? That
Yeah,
doesn't hold
yeah.
out much hope. That's something you put
It
at
was
the
one of the
bottom.
things that Game Freak were like raving about was like, well, you can have free reign over the camera, and it's like, guys, we're in 2020. Like,
Yeah.
free reign over the camera is something that's just normal. That was done in
Yeah.
2005.
Yeah.
The only extra thing, the part 2, the Crown Tundra bit's got, it says another new area, more new Pokemon, new co-op play feature, and then last point is clothing items and more.
Excellent.
Crikey.
Well, I just like. Did you see that picture? The picture of like all the Pokemon that weren't included, so all the ones in green. So out of like Generation 1, only Charizard and Charmeleon were like the ones included. Venusaur and Bulbasaur on in it.
Yeah.
They fucking included.
How are they not going to put
Caterpie.
Venusaur and Bulbasaur?
I did,
in
because
there?
my ending party, I did have a Ninetales, because Ninetales is a sweet Pokemon, and I had the Galarian, Ponyta, Rapidash.
Oh, what the
It's a
rainbow
it's
one?
fairy type. It's
Yeah,
like looks
that-
like a unicorn,
yeah.
which is cool.
You know who else is pretty cool?
Go on.
Me?
Oh, do you know what we should do? Right, think while we're talking. Everyone's going to say who their favourite Pokemon is.
I was just so this isn't my favorite, but I was just gonna say, you know who I really like?
I am stressed by that.
Tom went,
Oh, God.
Oh, sorry.
So asking your favourite son. Can we do favourite lineup?
Yeah. Pick a few.
All 6.
Don't have to.
Vaporeon. Vaporeon.
Vaporeon's a cool Pokemon.
Yeah, I think pretty much any of the EVs I really like.
Yeah, but
Jolteon.
there's like 10 now.
Flareon. No, I'm talking.
Okay.
What? I only know like 3. So is there only 3?
There was the
There was
Vaporeon,
originally.
Jolteon, and
Gen
Flareon.
2 brought in Umbreon, which was the dark type,
Yeah.
and Espeon, which was I think psychic.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I like them a lot, and because they were kind of unique in how you had to get them. That was kind of cool. I'm not saying that's my favorite. I just wanted to bring them up as something I liked.
Were they included?
Favorite Pokemon. Look, I had a huge soft spot for Scyther,
Okay.
just because I thought it was so cool looking.
I'm with you on that.
But I also had, and I'm going to give you some context here. You've just mentioned it, Ninetales. Okay,
Ninetales is in my
I
list
had
for
a
sure.
huge soft spot for that, but it's kind of bittersweet due to the fact that I used to be big into the card game.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And I said, right, to this girl, Lauren, I was like, do you want to do a friendly match? And she was like, yeah, fine. We did it. And she beat me. And she took my Ninetales.
No.
And I was like, it was a
You didn't
friendly.
have a
and
pink slips.
And she was like,
Bitch.
friendlies mean you can still get them. And I was like,
Unbelievable.
it was like the talk of the school. Like, it was really
Wow.
controversial.
That-
And she
that's
kept it.
heartbreaking.
She kept it.
kept it?
Yeah. Not only was it a Ninetales, it was a holofoil.
Oh
shiny.
no.
It was shiny.
Marks. That
So that's why I've got this deep
Yeah.
love and sadness for it.
what a melancholic experience. That you're the only person I've met who's played the card game. I've never met anyone who actually played it.
Off camera, I'll sort you out. Once,
Oh, yeah?
once we
You're
finish the
going to
episode.
show off your card
I'm
collection.
I have a book of shinies.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that
I-
could,
it's
pretty
everyone,
sweet.
everyone collected them though. but you actually
Did you say?
played them.
Did you collect
Yeah,
them?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
So I
yeah.
collected them,
I used to
yeah.
actually play. Yeah, I had the little yellow and blue stones as well,
I never
which
knew
is
how
your
that
health.
worked.
Yeah.
It took forever to work.
I had a Ninetales and I traded it to some absolute mug for a shiny Charizard.
Yeah.
Right, we're back. We're back.
back.
Camera slightly tilted to the side and all over the place, but we'll battle through.
And if you're listening to this podcast on Spotify, it is also available, the video podcast on YouTube. And where can we find that, lads?
You can find that at
Jez and Tom.
Jez
on
and Tom.
YouTube.
I'm assuming. Well, I think it's just in Dreams Club. On
yeah.
YouTube. Yeah, I think it's just youtube.com/in
Yeah,
Dreams Club.
in Dreams Club.
Fairly
That's the
certain
one.
it is. Yeah.
Right, talk to me about your favourite Pokemon, boys.
Who wants to go first? I'm
I'll get
happy
my,
to go
shall I get my Gen 2 out of the way? Just because I feel like it's heresy and we can stop talking about it.
No, because I'm 100% putting some Gen 2 in
Oh,
mine.
now,
what?
Now that you've heard me say it.
Yeah.
My Gen 2 is Pseudo-Udo. He was my guy. He was the decoy Pokemon, and he could like mimic other people's Pokemon, like moves. So he could literally do all of the moves. So he had my strength, he had my cut, he had I couldn't remember, he couldn't fly or surf, but at the same time it's just like he could do basically anything.
Yeah.
So I was obsessed with capturing him, and he possessed me for a while. So him with alongside my my Gen 2 starter there. But
He was the one who was blocking the path.
Yeah.
And you couldn't, because he looked like a cut tree, and you couldn't cut him, and then you had to go and do a little mission where you got a water bottle and you sprinkled it on him, and he attacked you.
And then you captured him.
Very
Yeah, I
good.
loved him. It's people that made me work for it, you know. Snorlax as well was in there.
Yeah.
So Snorlax and Pseudo-Udo were my two beefy guys. You know, I had to work to get them. I just don't want some Pokemon that's just going to come up to me in the middle of the grass, you know. I want them to make me
You like
work.
them playing
for their
hard
love.
to get.
Exactly. They're there. Everyone wants them. But
That explains so much about your dating
No,
life.
no, exactly.
Did you have any more? Or was that you just going your one? So
I did a few, but I can go through my whole group.
Go for it.
I then had I had my Venusaur. He was
Nice.
there, and then I had Alakazam.
Oh, Alakazam, big
huge.
fan.
Yeah.
Big
Huge
fan.
shout.
He was a nightmare because you had to capture Abra.
Yeah.
But he would always teleport, so you'd have to get a Pokemon that could, on its first move, confuse
Yeah.
Abra, so he couldn't
Yeah.
teleport away. And then you'd have to capture him, or you'd just be lazy and use your Master Ball on him.
Could you?
Yeah.
Who's wasting a Master Ball on that?
When you
No,
when you got
doing
99,
everyone was
it's
doing
fine.
the cheat.
When you
man.
got
Don't
99,
act
it's
like
fine.
you were above that.
Yeah, okay.
Now, was Alakazam one that you had to trade? Did you have to trade Kadabra to
Yeah,
get
Alakazam you had to trade.
Because it was the same with
think,
Haunter
yeah.
and Gengar, wasn't it?
Yeah,
You had to trade
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Let's step him up. So then, Alakazam. And then I had a Lapras and just a classic
Nice.
Pidgeot.
Love Lapras is a good Pokemon.
Lapras is great.
Like ice,
It was a
water
big
type.
dragon, you know. What can you
Yeah.
want? And then out of the I obviously had the 3 legendary birds towards the end, but
Yeah.
I had soft spot for Zapdos.
I think my soft foot was Articuno.
Articuno was pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Mine was Moltres. No,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know. I don't think it was actually.
When you think about the character design for Zapdos, they're so basic.
cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
That's just like daggers.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
child could draw it. Those are mine. How many did I do there? 5. I can't remember. I don't have a 6.
Andy, have you got a...
Not really. I mainly because I don't.
Because you're.
It's been so
lightweight.
long that I don't have like the feel of the content. I've always, and this is just says everything about me, that I've always loved Charizard. I've always loved him. I can't help it. I can't help my love. Okay.
Basic bitch.
Yeah, I am. Okay. Look, the boy's got attitude. Okay. He's not gonna.
It's true.
If Ash wants him to do something, no, he's not gonna do. He doesn't when
Yeah,
he
he
wants
was
to
a
do.
badass in the
Yeah.
anime.
Badass.
You didn't play by your rules.
Yeah, exactly.
You went
As I said,
toe-to-toe with legendary
Scyther,
birds.
Ninetales, and I did like pretty much all 3 of the Eevee.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Flareon,
I could never
Flareon.
choose. Could never
Yeah,
choose.
yeah,
that's
you
it.
know?
What
But
was,
that-
what was
I
the flaming dog called? Growlithe.
Growlithe.
Growlithe is
I'll
in
put-
my list.
I'll
Yeah,
put Growlithe as my
Growlithe is
6th.
cool.
I think Growlithe
Because
is my 6th.
also goes, was he a Firestone or was he just evolve at a level?
I can't remember.
But he Arcanine. What a
Yeah,
cool Pokemon.
Arcanine is cool.
Should I do mine? next?
Yeah,
I'll do
go
mine.
for it.
Okay, so Growlithe, 100%.
Sorry, I
list.
stole that.
No, that's all right. I like because I love his evolution as well, but I like it's kind of like the
Yeah.
Pikachu
You
Raichu.
would have
thing, like-
Ninetales and Growlithe.
Well,
and
this is my
Arcanine.
thing. Half of my team is fire. If I'm just going with
Yeah.
my favourite ones.
All right, we get there good, you know.
You're a hothead.
Yeah.
Fire.
Ninetales, just because it's super dope, and I think design wise, it's really cool.
Yeah,
Pokemon.
so cool.
Yeah.
I then got 2 from Gen 2.
Okay.
First one is a Pokemon called Ampharos. I don't know if you remember.
Is that the sheep? Electric sheep?
So it's the full evolution of that. Because it starts off as a little sheep, and I can't remember the name of it. But it's so much better than the stupid sheep and fucking Wooloo. Then it evolves into a bigger sheep, and then it evolves into Ampharos, but it kind of doesn't... that's a weird form of it, though. It doesn't normally have the white. It's normally just the yellow. Ampharos in the game, you might remember there's a lighthouse, and there's a Pokemon that's ill, and you have to go and get medicine for it. Ampharos is the Pokemon in the last that was ill. Super cool Pokemon, loved Ampharos. The other one was Tyranitar.
Oh, yeah.
Tyranitar was cool, and that was like a ground thing, but it basically looks like almost like a big T-Rex kind of thing. It's cool. That was cool. That one it was called, what was the little one called? I can't remember, but it evolved into like Pupitar, which is kind of like a cocoon, and then it was Tyranitar. Dragonair.
Dragonair.
So not Dragonite. Dragonite's cool, but kind of looks a bit almost like what's the way to say this? Dragonite kind of looks like if like you can imagine like a furry might dress up as a Dragonite.
Yeah. I get exactly what you mean.
I remember Dragonair being kind of
Dragonair
dark.
is the middle one.
It was just a snake.
Yeah, but I think the
It's
first
kinda
2
elegant.
are so cool.
It's kinda
and
elegant
then it
looking.
just feels
Elegant.
like it feels like Rayquaza would be the natural progression of
Yeah,
Dragonite.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like you want to kind of like almost like the sort of Chinese dragons kind of things.
That's
but
kind
then
of
you
what
get
that Pokemon Dreepy that I had in Sword kind of looked a bit like, but much smaller.
yeah.
I think one of the reasons I love Dragonair is because I was at a friend's birthday party when I was like 11 or something, and it was a quad biking party. Sick. And on the way out, sometimes you get like a party bag.
Yeah.
The party bag had a pack of Pokemon cards in it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And I got a Dragonair in it.
No way.
This was like every one of my friends in primary school at
Yeah.
every party had one of those. I gave away 3 shiny Charizards in booster packs.
See, this is obviously like the posh kids thing.
Yeah.
This is, we didn't do that with my friends. But my favourite Pokemon. This is a weird choice, but this has been my favourite Pokemon from the get-go. Is Magmar.
Magmar?
Oh, I forgot you love Magmar.
You know Magmar?
Yeah.
Cinnabar Island gym, and it's the one where he beats Charizard, and then Charizard comes back and finally listens to Ash and beats it.
Yeah.
But I think Magmar's so kind of weird looking, kind of like like duck face.
He's got a duck face with claws, doesn't he?
And then they did a pre-evolution. I think they may have done an evolution of him. But he was one of the original ones. It was like him, Electabuzz, Pinsir, Taurus, Jinx, Mr. Mime that were like just Pokemon. They didn't evolve. It was just
I always liked those
Yeah.
ones. They were like the
They were
Safari
cool.
Zone ones, aren't they?
Yeah, I think Magmar you had to catch in that weird house on Cinnabar Island, and where you could also catch Ponyta and.
I always thought
Big
It was the house where Mewtwo was like. Remember, you go around. There's all those diary notes about Mewtwo.
Yeah. Also, big shout out to, I mentioned earlier, Gyarados.
Yeah.
Just a very cool looking
so
design.
basic.
You are very
so
So cool.
basic.
And Onyx.
Onyx.
Onyx is actually terrible.
So you're
Pretty cool.
Stat-wise, it's
Pretty
a
cool
terrible
looking.
Pokemon. Do you remember Steelix?
Yeah.
Steelix was cool.
You know, you were talking about that the notes of Mewtwo.
Yeah.
Imagine if there was a section of the game where you could go back in time and you could go to like the evolution of the first Pokemon, like, and you would go because in the film they went to like the rainforest and they found these like ancient carvings of Mew. Imagine if there was that and you were like figuring out the sort of
Origins
of
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Well, this was one of the coolest things about Gen 2. Do you remember the Unknown?
Yeah.
Or was that only in Crystal?
No, there's Gen 2.
It was in
Legendary
Silver as well.
Dogs, yeah.
Yeah, the Unknown thing. Because then there was those like puzzles.
Yeah.
And if you put the puzzle right, it like dropped you through the floor, and then there was Unknown everywhere you got.
Unfortunately,
Really
they've ruined it slightly by making like 15 different god Pokemon who like they created the Earth, they created the universe.
Arceus?
Yeah,
I think it's the god Pokemon,
yeah. Which then I think, well, that kind of explains it a little bit. But also, I just really like to know about Mew, like the origin of it,
Mew's
or
so
like
cool.
ancient Pokemon, like how did man and Pokemon? Because you kind of got a little bit of that with the Detective Pikachu film.
Yeah.
I really liked
liked
that.
it, yeah.
Really liked it. I thought the actual script was,
Just because it was Pokemon.
It was just a Pokemon.
It was just cool
world,
seeing
yeah.
the world. That
Absolutely.
like with so many of these game films, kind of sometimes like it's just cool seeing the world.
Yeah.
Like I know that I have a lot of issues with the Warcraft film, but it was just so cool to be in Azeroth.
Agreed.
It was just
Yeah,
like
so
wicked to see all these characters that you know.
Absolutely.
Similar with Pokemon, it was so cool to see fucking
It's 'cause
Who
Like
knew it
how
was
they
halfway in Hertfordshire and halfway in Liverpool Street in London?
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
Right.
Excellent. Well,
Right, Tom wants to do his.
Tom, sorry, I was
I've
gonna cut
been
you
making a
off.
list. I've got a
Yeah,
list
I
of
know,
about
racist.
9 here. There's a couple of honourable mentions, which
Okay.
I don't know. So, first and foremost, my boy Scyther. He's going in. He was cool. Didn't enjoy him in the anime because I thought he had a really stupid voice, and that's not what I expected. Yeah, exactly. But, you can only be so good,
He was like, if you caught him in the Safari Zone, you knew you were winning that competition at the end.
Yeah.
Well, so this is a couple of my honourable mentions.
Oh, okay.
Because they can't technically say that they're my top because I've never actually caught them. So
Oh, can I guess one? It's Taurus.
no.
I did see what one is, and I do agree. It was like one of the hardest to catch.
Yeah.
Taurus
Okay,
is
right.
impossible to catch as
Yeah.
well.
So we've got Golduck.
Yeah.
Absolutely love Golduck. Thought he was like Psyduck when you figured out the kinks. You realise actually, hang on a sec, this guy's pretty powerful, and Golduck was just a bit of a badass.
It could then hyper beam as well. couldn't it?
Yeah.
It was sort of like how you deal with Magikarp. Sorry, how you deal with Magikarp and going to Gyarados. Like Golduck was that on a lower level.
Exactly.
Let's go through the pain.
You have next. You got Lapras.
Yeah.
Just elegant Loch Ness monster. What more could you want?
Yeah.
Got that kind of mythical feel to it. Loved it. Now this is a bit of. I'm still undecided. Blastoise was my original, but I do just think Charizard was fucking cool. And I had a shiny Charizard card, which I ruined because I took it. I was so obsessed with that card. I took it into the bath with me once.
Nice.
And then dropped it in the bath and ruined the card.
Wrinkled.
Yeah. But I'm still undecided. I think I'm going to go with Blastoise. Yeah, just because
Blastoise
I
is
used him more. Nidoking.
Nidoking.
huge.
Legend.
He was one of my favourite cards to use. I
Yeah.
always had a Nidoking to use.
He was
Moonstone.
Yeah.
He was absolute beast. Okay, right. Now, these are the 4 these 2, are ones I never actually caught, but I wanted so badly.
Okay.
You have Chansey.
Yeah, super hard to catch.
Oh, the most, and I honestly, I must have spent hours in that Safari Zone, and I saw
did
it
get one.
once.
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah,
I think I did
definitely
catch
had
one.
one. Yeah, yeah.
What's it like?
Right, beautiful.
Its sprite was so big as well.
Yeah,
you know when
that's
it
what I
comes
remember.
up and then it's like please, and it's like boom, like that
Yeah.
massive Chansey and like shit, and then it's
Yeah.
like Chansey fled.
Yeah, it would always fly, and then you'd run around like, come on, I can get it again, I
Yeah.
can get it again, but you never could.
The Safari Zone is
and then it's a
such a
fucking
great.
execute, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
The Safari Zone is such a great moment. I
Yeah.
think in games.
so cool.
yeah,
Such a cool moment.
brilliant. And then you had Kangaskhan, is that what it was called?
Kangaskhan.
Kangaskhan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which was another one which I was just like, please, I just
Yeah.
want to capture it.
It's kind of yellow, armadillo-y, but like stood upright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever look in? You probably don't. You probably don't. Do you ever look into like Pokemon lore, as in like because do you know the Pokemon Slowbro?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
there's
think
Slowpoke
Purple.
was the little one. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
Slowbro was
And
the
Slow
evolved
King,
one.
right?
And then in the lore, it's like, it's supposed to be like a cloister.
That's
like,
clamped onto its tail.
clamps onto a Slowpoke's tail is then Slowbro evolves.
Yeah.
Like that. And like how some Pokemon are just like a bit odd.
Cubone,
Bit odd.
Yeah.
where's the skull of its dead mother.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's Marowak. Yeah. Super weird.
Yeah.
Super weird. Like Pokemon lore is pretty odd.
What do you have one about Kangaskhan?
Yeah. There's something about the little one in its pouch.
Yeah.
Like, so that was like a baby. I don't know if it's as simple as that it's a baby one or if it's like a baby different Pokemon. I've got weird
Oh, so
feelings.
it's just
for
like taking a different Pokemon
Yeah.
and has it as a baby. Dodgy.
Weird.
Dodgy.
So last on the I'm gonna put Chansey in there,
Okay.
but another one I wanted to catch. No, sorry, I can't put Chansey in there because I never
Oh,
caught
okay,
it. So
yeah.
Dragonite,
Dragonite.
never got one
Dragonite.
because it was such a high evolution, and I could never I could never even find Dratini. I couldn't find any of them.
Yeah, yeah.
So Pidgeot's going in
Pidgeot.
because that was
classic.
absolute
I've got time.
beast
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
Absolute, you know.
There wasn't really any other options as your flying Pokemon in Gen
Fearow.
1. Fearow was
No
sucked.
chance,
I don't want
mate.
to deal with
Can
Spearow.
Charizard- But
Charizard
is that-
couldn't. I don't think Charizard could fly. Jack.
Don't
okay,
fly,
okay.
yeah.
What else could fly?
Pidgeot
John?
was cool. Pidgeot
what,
looked cool.
What you could do if you didn't like Pidgeot was get some crap bird Pokemon to do it, and then once you finally are able to get Zapdos or
Yeah.
Articuno, then
Yeah.
you use them because they could learn fly.
I think that's what I did, but it was a very emotional time. I was like, but Pidgeot's
Yeah.
been so good to me.
Yeah, it's been a loyal servant to your club, and now you've got to get rid of it.
My absolute favourite though was Dig Trio.
Doug Trio.
Doug Trio. See, there you go. I tried to make a joke and I didn't. Couldn't even do it.
That's a weird. That's a win. And also like Magnemite and Magneton, because it's just like Magneton is just 3 of them together.
Yeah,
like.
you just like some of them. They're just like, oh, guys, you just got to get the game out.
Yeah.
Just like do it.
Hold on. I think what's the 3
Magneton.
Magneton. I have a funny story where a friend on Christmas Day woke up, opened up his pack of Pokemon cards, got a shiny Magneton, and came round my house to show me
Christmas
that
Day.
he'd got one in a bag. I was like, cool, like, good on you, mate. Well done.
Yeah, you're just jealous because you got.
Yeah, I was actually
Rattata. You packed a
Really
Rattata that day. Yeah.
Awesome.
Amazing. Well, thank you for that little Pokemon bonanza.
Loved it.
You're more than welcome. Always happy to talk about Pokemon.
Always firing on all cylinders.
Don't worry, we're going to make a third podcast, which is a Nintendo podcast. So we'll have you on there. I think
we need to sort bets out because
I think that's the next thing.
it's 2020. It's 2020. So last episode we had a bet that was all about dreams.
Yep.
And so I don't know if you guys know about this, but obviously I represent the Hufflepuff house.
Yeah.
And Andy represents
Slytherin.
Gryffindor.
Sorry, Gryffindor.
Represent Gryffindor.
Gryffindor. Reds.
What did you guys ever? So you Gryffindor.
I was
You're a
Gryffindor, yeah.
You're using the Gryffindor mic as well. Which,
There you go.
Yeah.
Did you ever house yourself, Tom? Did you ever go to like Pottermore or?
Yeah, I did.
Listen.
I did. All right, I'm more than happy to be a Slytherin.
You sit.
Absolutely. Listen, you can have your bravery, you can have your courage and your courageousness, but who's making bank? All right, who is influencing the wizarding world? It's Slytherin. I've got contacts, mate. Fucking have your little weird meetings with Dumbledore. Whatever goes on in that office, you never find out. Well, Malfoy never found out. I'm dining, whining and dining with Slughorn.
Whining and dining.
I'm getting Ministry of Magic. I'm being tapped up. Nepotism all the way, lads.
You're making your money on the slavery of house elves and the racism of the magical race.
That is absolutely fine by me because, listen,
fine with
you drive your crappy old flying Ford, mate, and your crap house. Malfoy has albino peacocks in his house. Sorry, his mansion.
This is
Enjoy the borough.
This is the sort of Harry Potter talk that I want when we do the bets.
I'm like, what the hell has this podcast
Slytherin
turned
all the way,
into?
mate.
The problem is now, Sloan, that I've learned you're a Hufflepuff. I just don't respect you. You're just nothing now.
Team Hufflepuff for life. Anyway, so last year obviously we went over this last time as well, but obviously Gryffindor snuck in at the last minute, caught the golden snitch and won the Quidditch Cup. But this year we're starting afresh. Obviously 10 points for getting a bet right.
Yep.
Like scoring quaffle in Quidditch. So last week we bet on how many people would be playing Art Stream in Dreams, which is the campaign that Media Molecule made in Dreams. And you bet that there would be...
Yeah. I bet it was 3.6 thousand.
Yeah? Or
3.6K.
3.6. Yeah. It was that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or was it 3.4?
3.6 because
Okay.
the 0.4 I think was the middle ground.
And I bet there would be 1,000.
Yeah.
Now, the actual answer, the amount of people who are playing Art Stream and Dreams was 337.
Wow.
Yeah. So I really didn't think about the fact we were looking at this at 1:30 on a Friday afternoon.
So basically what that means is Hufflepuff steaming into the lead again. Hufflepuff taking in anyone. We don't discriminate and we're 10-0 up. And we need to so the bet for next time, basically. We need to get that ready. So do you want to explain that?
Yeah, so I think what we're going to do with this bet, and you guys are involved, but obviously you
don't get any points.
Well, the points are just going to go into the ether. If you come back in, you can play again.
Okay.
Maybe you'll be allowed double points because you're only here every now and then. Right, the next one is I'm going to go onto the PlayStation Store after this podcast. Okay, I'm going to load it up. I'm going to go to Grand Theft Auto 5. Okay,
PS4
on PS4, and I'm gonna add up how much money from all of the different downloadable content or Shark Bucks or whatever it's called, how much can you spend on Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PlayStation Store PS4?
and just stuff that you can so if there's something you can buy multiple times like a currency, if you just buy
one
every
of everything.
denomination of currency once.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
So I've got a thing. I need to work this. I don't really know. How much do you think the base game is now? Surely, like, not more than like.
Well,
20
I
quid,
think there might even be a sale on where it's on sale right now.
So that's got to be.
Ooh, someone at the door.
Oh,
Hold on, you keep thinking,
Cut.
deliberating. Right, so we're going to go on the PlayStation Store, looking at the. We are going to go on the PlayStation Store, looking at the PS4 version of Grand Theft Auto 5, and I'm basically going to look at everything that you can buy, whether it's kind of in one version of it. So if there's money, you can only buy one version of it.
yeah.
Now you're going to add that all up together, and I'm going to see how much can you spend on Grand Theft Auto 5.
Okay.
Okay?
So,
Yeah.
um,
How you feeling?
I don't know. I'm not very good. I don't really know what I'm going to say for this, but my guess is going to be £75.
No,
Okay.
so much more than that.
Oh, okay.
Jez?
Yeah, well, because you like when you think about like buying add-ons and currencies on games on just your mobile, you can spend like 80 quid on like FIFA points and all these other games
Yeah, that's a good point.
just on one thing to get a huge bulk load in. So I reckon you could spend at least £300.
So you're going 300?
Yeah.
Okay. Tom?
Okay, but you're saying you can buy every single one, right?
Once.
If I go to
But once,
the
but
GTA
once.
5,
Okay, right.
what
Yeah.
else is in there?
I reckon you can buy at minimum. You can buy £200 worth. I reckon you can buy £200 worth of credits, like whatever the currency is in the game. So I'm going to say, and then if you're talking like buying, I haven't played it in so long now. I can't even remember what you can buy. But like if you're buying cars or like extra add-ons, I'm going to say $1.5 grand.
$1.5 grand. Whoa. Okay. What did you say?
I said 75 quid.
Okay. I'm going 280.
Undercutting me, huh?
Wow,
Yeah.
I have really overshot this
yeah.
by the sounds of
The thing
things.
is, I've got
You never
no
know.
clue. I've
You
not
never
got
know.
a clue.
Yeah.
So, give me-
All right, we'll lock that in.
Locked.
Oh, we're locking.
Well, I
We're
don't
locking or
know. I
locking?
don't really understand what
we
we're
did.
locking in.
Okay, we're locking it in. It's locked in. That's there. And that's it, guys. I think that's the end. I don't really want to talk to you guys anymore.
That's fair enough.
You kind of out Harry Potter and Pokemon me quite significantly in this episode. So
You're welcome.
Yeah, I don't know how comfortable I feel about that.
So now it's just time for the signature sign off then from you, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
To end it. Cool.
So not obviously, you can go to our website, indreamsclub.com, and you can see some nice pictures there and see all the podcasts. You can find us on social media.
Yeah, you can go on Twitter and you can go to @InDreamsClub, and that's where the Twitter is.
Yeah. Where else can you find us?
Oh, yeah, of course. You can find us on the Superior Vine
No.
one, on Byte.
Byte.
I've made a Byte.
Oh, I thought
We're
you were going to say
live.
TikTok.
No.
Definitely not.
Come
15
on.
seconds is
Look,
too long.
Chris,
6 seconds is the sweet one.
Chris and I had a meeting on when was
I've
it?
never even heard of
Wednesday. On Wednesday, we had a sit-down meeting in a cafe, and we
Yeah.
talked about what we're going to be doing. I said we're not going on TikTok. We're not going on TikTok. And he was like, okay. So Byte it is. So we're just
Nice.
going on Byte.
Bros.
We need to get on Byte.
And
Jez.
do we
Get on Byte. Get on
Just going
Byte.
up.
Never even
Guess-
heard of it.
Now,
So I think it's from the makers who made Vine.
yeah, it's the guys who make
Get
Byte.
in there early, sunshine.
Guys, where can we find you?
Oh, you can find us on all of the major platforms: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Controversially,
Oh, very controversial. And soon to be Byte.
soon to be Byte as well.
You won't be able to get dad jokes of the day on that. It's too
Yeah,
short.
gotta be well quick.
That's-
Yeah, I can reel them off quick. Don't you worry.
So if you just look up Jez and Tom
Yeah.
and all of them, Jez AND Tom. There you go. That's where
That's
you'll
us.
find us.
Fantastic. Now we are adding to our social media output, aren't we? What kind of social media? It's
Are
not
we?
really. Yeah, with YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? Hey. We tried this last episode. Didn't quite work.
Yeah, the recording didn't work.
We're just
which was
copying
fun.
you guys now.
Fair enough.
We're
You'll be on
actually
TikTok
currently
soon
in
enough.
India. So
wow.
and it's just In Dreams Club, isn't it? On
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah, the YouTube is just YouTube. I think it's just .com/InDreamsClub. I'm pretty sure that's where you can find it. Slowly putting the old podcasts up
Yeah.
with a nice still background
Yeah.
of the artwork. But yeah, hopefully new ones will have lovely video.
Indeed.
It's been chopped up.
Yes, yeah. we might have moved around a little bit. We might be a little bit darker, a little bit brighter. But But thank you very much, as always, for listening and hopefully watching. And thank you to all of my wonderful co-hosts, Chris, Jeremy, Tom.
Thank you for having us.
Jeremy.
Thanks very much for having us. It's been a
Absolute
great time.
pleasure. I'd love to have you again soon. And I think that about does it. So I'll sign it off and just say thanks for everything, guys, and bye.
I wanna be the very best that no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause.